Hello and welcome to the Busy Bug Homestead. So today I'm going to start my container herb garden. I'm pretty excited about my container herbs. So anyone who knows me will know that I am a pastry chef and I have a love for cooking. So having my own herbs and berries and vegetables at my hands throughout the entire growing season just makes me so excited. So we already have a whole bunch of stuff started in the vegetable garden. I've got strawberries going. I'm putting in some more strawberries in these little containers here. And then a whole bunch of herbs. Some of them started from seed and some of them bought from a local garden center, a couple local garden centers in the area. So first off, I'm going to start with these guys here. I got these little containers. They hang on the fence from Walmart for $7 for 3 of them. I'm going to try these out. They have little punch holes in the bottom, which I did puncture. I'm going to put 2 in each container, and then I'm going to hang them right above where I have my strawberry bed currently. This way, when I go to net that whole area, I can kind of net these in too to protect them from the birds. I'm going to do 3 of those, 3 of the strawberry planters, and I'm going to hang them from that fence. And then I also have some lemon verbena that I'm going to plant. And this says full sun, 36 inches, 24 inches. So I'm going to put that in one of these bigger pots. The lemongrass, I'm going to put in a pot all by itself, one of these larger ones back here. Alright, so I also got a sweet leaf plant, which is 24 by 36 inches at its max. So that's also going to have to be potted, much like the lemongrass, in a pot of its own. I have an oregano that I started from seed inside, so that one's going to be going in one of these black pots here. I have multiples of the oreganos, but I'm only going to put one in my pot right now and put another one in the landscape. I have a barbecue rosemary that I got from a local garden center. A thyme plant that I started from seed, which is looking beautiful. I've never had success with growing herbs from seed until this year. For some reason, everything's looking great, so hopefully it doesn't die. These have all been hardened off, and I gave them a lot of extra time hardening them off. So hopefully they stay alive. They smell amazing. My parsley has seen better days. I'm actually not putting this in here. I'm putting this in the cut flower garden, and I'm going to let it go to flower. I have some more that's going directly in the garden beds over in the vegetable garden, but these ones are just on this tray, but I figured I'd show them. So I do have some flat leaf parsley started for herbs. I have a spearmint plant that I started from seed. And also on the topic of the mints, I picked up at a local garden center. This is an apple mint. A chocolate mint. A strawberry mint. And I also have a lemon balm. Alright, so I think I'm going to get started with my mint. So I'm putting all my mint in one container because I don't want them to get massive. I don't mind if they share space a little bit. So I'm just going to put all 4 mints in one container. And if they start to crowd themselves too much, then I will come back and separate them. I'm not super worried about it. Put my spearmint toward the back, my apple mint and my chocolate mint on either side, and then the strawberry in the front here. These containers, I got these a couple of years ago at Walmart. They have a different variety every year. Last year they were silver, so I have one of those in a different shape. It's an oblong shape. And then this year they have a white one, which I didn't really care much for my garden. So, but they're actually drink coolers, like you pour the ice in here, or they have different sizes to do snacks and stuff like that. I use them for planters. I drilled a couple holes at the bottom, filled them with soil. We're good to go. All right, I have my little helper now because she got bored with what she was doing. So, hopefully she stays happy over there with her little pumpkins. So we got one container down. It says all of my mints in it, and I can thin, and I'll be cutting from it for different desserts and stuff throughout the season, different meals. So it shouldn't get too out of control, and if it does, like I said, I'll just repot them if they need their own. And now I think I'm going to take on these strawberry containers because I am very excited for these. I saw them online and I wanted to get some to try them out because I was trying to figure out how I was going to put my strawberries in. And I didn't want to get
in trouble.
No, not trouble. I didn't want to get a gutter or something. I've seen the gutter projects. I've seen PVC pipe. I didn't want to do any of that because that just, it's not really my aesthetic. It's not really my style. I want the planter to fade into the background and I want the plant to shine. So I'm going to go with these and we'll see how they go. I'm going to be potting. I have a lot more. These are my Berried Treasure strawberry seedlings that I started from seed. I have featured them on my Instagram and I've talked about them a couple of times. I did the seedling spotlight on them. They have grown fantastic. So I'm very excited for these. So I'm going to try putting them in here, and then I have a couple more that I'm going to put in other areas of the raised garden where I'm just going to tuck them in the corners. They were producing runners. Like this one's got a little runner on it. Pretty liberally. We've had lots of runners off of these. I clipped a lot of them. The ones that I clipped are flowering. So we're going to put them in here and hopefully they do well in these pots. If they start to look like they're struggling, just like the herbs, I'll move them to something else. So I'm planting these slightly to the side so that they'll drape over, and I'm being very careful to not cover their crowns. So I'm only planting them as deep as they were in the cup, slightly above the cup line. So we don't want to have any issues with them growing, because if you bury the crowns, that could kill the plant. There are our little strawberry containers and my massive mess over there. 6 strawberry plants in these 3 containers. That's not bad for hanging on the fence. So my rosemary and my lemon verbena, I'm going to actually put in my garden because they're going to get a little bit bigger than the pots that I have available for them. So I'm going to put these 2 to the side, but they will still be going in the herb garden or vegetable garden somewhere. Now my lemon balm, I am going to place in this little pot here. I need to put some more soil in it because I used some of the soil for the strawberries. We have our lemon balm. Okay, so for this other large black pot that I have that was a drink cooler, I'm going to split between my thyme and my oregano. And these can get bigger and I can move them to the garden when they get bigger. They will overwinter, so especially if we have a winter like we had this past year, which was actually fairly mild. So I got my thyme here, my oregano here, and it'll just they'll kind of grow into each other, hopefully, and fill in this pot. So there's going to be blank spots in this one. But that's okay. Now the lemongrass. I have been looking for a good lemongrass plant for a very long time. I love to cook with lemongrass. Normally, when I go to buy it in the market, I only find it in like paste form, and I like it fresh. So it'd be nice to have this. This is not a perennial in this area, so I will have to take a cutting from it and try and overwinter, or possibly overwinter the entire plant if I can get a good infrastructure set up in the garage for that. But I definitely want to give this its own space to kind of grow. Alright, and then lastly, my last one I have to pot up here is going to be my sweet leaf. I'm just going to put right in the center and let it do its thing. I am thinking maybe of putting some violas around the side, maybe some strawberries around the side. We'll see, because it grows up and out. So maybe after I let it grow on just a little bit, I can add a little bit more to the sides. I've never grown this before. I saw it at the garden center. I was like, you know what? I'm doing an herb garden. Let's go all in. It's in the herb section. I'm going for it. So there are some mints that I don't own. Our little garden center was well stocked on mint. So I might go back and grab some more. But for the most part, this is going to be it for our herb garden so far, and then I'll add to it throughout the years. And you know, I want to get some chamomile and some tea garden stuff going, so we're going to definitely be working on that. And I will update on how these are doing and how they're growing. If I could recommend an inexpensive, pretty pot, I would go and find some of these from Walmart. I mean, it's a fantastic container for gardening, and they're like $6 or $7. So they're not that expensive. I try to stay pretty inexpensive when I'm looking for flower pots because I want to spend my money on the plants. When it comes down to it, I'd rather spend a little bit less on a pot that looks good but is not like ridiculously expensive, and spend more money on my plants, which is where my passion is growing the plants and setting up a pretty but inexpensive growing area. So these are going to all move to the vegetable garden, which is going to be full sun, which is what all of these want. They will probably join a couple of pots of tomatoes and peppers at some point, but they will all be clustered right around the fireplace chimney stack that we have. We have dead center of our wall in the vegetable garden. There's a chimney stack that goes to the basement. So I'm going to kind of center them around there. I might do a cute sign. We'll see what happens. But for the most part, this is it. This is our herb garden. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today on this project, and we will see you for the next project really soon. Bye.